I recently got the RF 24-70 f2.8L lens, and it's got me wondering if I'm ever going to use my EF 50mm prime again. I only got the nifty 50, the 1.8, so I'm not too sure. I want to see how it compares. So I set my R5 up on the tripod, and I did the 50mm on the one lens, and the other lens only went to 50. On the 50mm, I did some 1.8 shots and 2.8 shots just to see what the difference between that would be with that lens. And then I'm going to compare the 2.8 versus the 2.8 of the 24-70. So let's get into this. So number one is the 50mm EF lens at f2.8. The number two is at f1.8, because we're just going to take a look between these two to see how much of a difference that depth of field is, and then we're going to get rid of the f1.8 and then go towards the 24-70 and compare the 24-70 with the 50mm and see how those go. So yeah, let's start here. Let's take a look at f1.8 versus f2.8 on the 50mm. So f1.8, I focused in on this Canon logo here, so let's zoom in. Whoa, that is soft. I took the UV filters off both of them because the UV filter on the 50 is really cheap. It's really bad. Just not even worth me using it. But this is extremely soft, and check out that. Ooh, I do not like that. Yeah, okay. It has a look, I guess. If you want to go for that, like this is very green. That fringing there. It's like a discoloration. I'm not too sure about that. Okay, let's check out the 2.8. 2.8's much better. I did take a couple images at both, so that lets me know I didn't, kind of screw up. Like, all of the f1.8s were that bad, and now the f2.8 is a lot better. It's a lot more intact, but still pretty soft. Like, that isn't perfectly sharp here at f2.8. And f2.8, you're not going to get super intact stuff, but still some kind of greenish looking outline. I don't love that discoloration. I don't like it one bit. But we'll compare it to the RF lens after and see if it's the RF or see if it's the lens discoloration or maybe the lighting, or possibly color bleed, because there's green tape holding it up right now, so it could be color bleed. But from what it looks like to me, it's only on the outline of my subject, and yeah, this looks pretty sharp right here. F2 or f1.8. Let's take a look at that. f1.8. It's almost dreamy. Like, it looks cool, but it's not sharp. It's not sharp whatsoever. And let's take a look at the colors. So let's zoom into this right here. So f1.8, and then let's go to f2.8. 1.8. Yeah, you lose a lot of contrast and a lot of sharpness at f1.8. So f1.8, I don't even know if it's necessarily 100% usable on this lens. Oh, this looks pretty sharp. Maybe it focused on this, but no, I definitely set my focus point to. This, but this looks pretty sharp right here. So it sharpens up around the center of the lens, which is to be expected with most lenses. Let's check out. I'm not too sure how I feel about it. The 1.8 looks pretty soft. The f2.8 looks a lot better. So realistically, I wouldn't be using f1.8 on this lens all that much if I were to use it, because I don't like how much it discolored the outline of the image. I don't like how soft it got. This looks a lot better at f2.8. Same lens. It's cool that you can do it at f1.8. That's pretty sweet that you can do that, and I'm sure in some circumstances that's awesome. I'm sure in the occasional circumstance that's awesome, but every time I've used this lens, I've been slightly disappointed with the results, and maybe that's why. It's because I've been shooting it at f1.8, whereas at f2.8 it looks a lot better. Because I've been grabbing it for low light situations like shooting charcoal. I'll be like, I don't know, in like the living room upstairs, and we do not have any professional lighting up there or whatever, and I go to f1.8 to try to get a little bit better low light performance, but the images always come up soft. They don't come out sharp, and I know it's not the camera, so it's definitely the lens, and it's definitely only at like the wide open aperture of like 1.8, which is nuts. f2.8 looks a lot better, so let's just get rid of this f1.8 photo. We're just going to remove it so that we can compare the 50mm to the 24-70. It looks like the framing's a little different. That's to be expected because one lens comes out from the camera more than the other, so that's fine. I might just crop them together to make them a little more alike. Let's start by going to the RF lens, f2.8, RF 24-70, f2.8L lens, image stabilized, mind you. The prime is not image stabilized, so f1.8, awesome, better low light performance, but image stabilization also lets me lower my shutter speed, so better low light performance. Probably all around better low light, because f2.8 is actually usable, and image stabilization on top of a usable f2.8 is probably better than an f1.8 that is soft. This is sharp. This is way sharper. Okay, let's go back up to the Canon up here. No, ridiculously sharper, and that's to be expected. These are completely different price categories. I bought that EF 50mm lens for $100. $100. This RF lens is a brand new Canon L series lens, and it's to be expected. It better be sharp. But f2.8, you can see the difference. f2.8 on that 50mm, look at how soft that is. This is an adapted EF lens. Look at that fringing, that green fringing. I thought I already built these. Anyways, got this fringing here. f2.8. Look at how much cleaner these edges are. Look at how much, like, it hardly breaks up. Look at this. Like, this is the steel, this is the hot shoe. So yeah, look at this. Look at this right here, and then look at this. That's bad. That's really bad. I'm sure it sharpens up probably around f4. I'm sure of it. But that's not what I want to test. What I want to test is, do I ever want to carry around this lens again, this 50mm lens? Because if I find that this RF lens is better at 50mm and performs better at 50mm, I'm just gonna ditch the EF lens. Maybe it's a $100 lens. I might just do it as a throw-in with when I sell my 5D, because I'm selling my 5D Mark III. Yeah, like, it's noticeably sharper, that RF lens at 50mm, to the point where it's so much sharper. This is so much better of an image overall in every single way. Like, this is sharper. The colors are more accurate. Everything about this image is better. I don't see any horrible green. Like, this looks incredible. Oh my word, I am blown away at the quality of this lens. The EF f4 lens could not do this. If I stacked that lens and this lens together, the EF f4 lens would have some fringing, and it only goes to f4. So this is insane. That RF lens, Canon did an incredible job with it. That is some really good glass. Because yeah, so 50mm prime. We compared f1.8 versus f2.8. The f1.8 isn't usable. It's so soft. I mean, it is usable if you want to go for like a dreamy look, kind of almost like a mist filter kind of look. It's very soft though. F2.8, it sharpens up, definitely sharpens up a lot, but this f2.8 is very soft and has a lot of discoloration, and I don't know the terminologies. I should probably, learn the terminologies. All I know is that, like, when I zoom in and I pixel peep these photos, I don't like what I see when it comes to like that green outline. That I just don't like it, and that is what actually got me to really spring for the RF glass, is because I was shooting landscape photos and adapting the EF 16-35 f4, and I was getting that fringing that I just don't like it. And every lens has a little bit of it, but if I can minimize that in any way, form, I'm going to do that, because it's a pain in the butt. It's an absolute pain to try to edit out, because you have to like trace it. It's just my least favorite of all kind of things. I mean, the dreaminess, I can kind of deal with that. That's kind of cool, but the green outline, I can't deal with that. I'm gonna ditch this lens. I'm not gonna use it ever again, I don't think. Which is sad. It's served me well. I've done a lot of cool shoots with it. I've done a lot of videos with it. Because yeah, I've used it for a lot of videos on my YouTube, but why would I use it? Why would I use it when the wide open f2.8 on this 50mm 24-70 is better in every single way, shape, and form? No doubts, no questions asked. There's no point. So I'm gonna retire that lens. That's kind of it. I mean, the crop, it's a little different, but it's comparable. Like, this is just a little bit, up, but it's comparable. It's still like, and it's a zoom, right? So I'm going to have this focal range inside this zoom, and the zoom is more versatile. It's sharper. It's sharp at f2.8. I can't believe how good this RF glass is. I'm astonished, because I thought that EF prime was great. I liked it. I used it for a long time. But I recently been just kind of noticing these things when I'm editing and not liking them. And Instagram, it's fine because the image is so small, but when I'm making prints, when I'm doing anything more than just Instagram, it's not acceptable to me. Anyways, this is just, I can't deal with that. I cannot deal with that. Still a great lens, still awesome. I got a lot of use out of it, and then unless you're zooming in or blowing this up or doing whatever with it, it won't matter. But for me, it matters. It does. Don't know what else to tell you. It just matters. This is beautiful. Oh man. Canon, the R5 with the RF glass. It's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. I'm so excited for creating things with this, because it's definitely leveling up. These EF lenses that I've been using, they have been great. The image stabilization, awesome. They are awesome for video, but as we see, even a lens that I thought was good and I liked it, it just does not compare. Yeah, it goes to f1.8, but that f1.8 was so soft and unusable, right? We kind of went through that. At f2.8, it's completely replaceable. This RF glass is way better. Yeah, so I don't know, maybe I'll do it as throw in with the 5D when I sell it. Maybe I will do maybe I'll try to sell it for what I paid for it. I mean, $100. $100. That's the thing. This is a $100 lens, and at f2.8, it looks pretty dang good. For $100, secondhand, $100. Got it on Facebook Marketplace. It's pretty good. It's not bad. It does a good job at photography. You can do great portraits. Yeah, good lens. But if you're really being critical, this is a better lens. This is a much better lens. So yeah, that's what it comes down to. I'm gonna ditch the 50. Ditching the nifty 50. That's sad. It's sad getting rid of old gear. I have a sentimental attachment to my gear, but you got to get it right in camera, and then you can do whatever you want in post. I can add fringing if I want. I can't. Taking it away is a lot of work, and I never want to add. Why would I want to add? So yeah, that's kind of what it comes down to. As you can see, the 24 to 70 is way sharper. It's way better in every way. The color is better, the contrast is better, the sharpness, everything about it. So yeah, that's that. If you are on a tight budget, get that nifty 50. Great lens, it served me well. If you're not on a tight budget, if you are making money as a photographer, spend your money that you make as a photographer and buy some good glass, because the good glass is worth it. It is definitely worth it. Check that out. Like, that is tack sharp, and this is not. And I don't know about adapting. I've heard adapting can cause some anomalies, and I don't know. I never had a problem with adapted lenses. My stuff has always been okay. That being said, this RF glass is noticeably better in every single way. So I don't think there's anything wrong with the adapters. I think, again, I was able to do professional level work. I was able to make money and save up using those adapters to get the RF glass. But yeah, the sooner you can kind of move into RF, the better. Definitely, the sooner you can move into RF, the better. I mean, or at the very least, the sooner you can move into some 2.8L glass, the better, because this is much better. So if you found my rambling helpful at all, and my comparison of a $100 lens with a $3,000 lens Canadian, something ridiculous like that, cool. I mean, interact with the video, whatever. If not, that's cool too. Glad you watched this long. Sorry you didn't get anything from it. Hope you have a good day. Until next time, peace.